I thought I'd give everyone an update on the happenings with my 1975 Citroen, not a DS. It's a D Super5. I got this car at the beginning of the year, it was a few months ago. I was given it for free, which I know looks like a hell of a find, but, well, that's the engine. Yeah, so it's not in the best of health, but I'm working on that. This video is to give a kind of update on sort of where it's sitting at the moment, which is in the same place, and also an update on what was happening with the government, with the man. Yes, I have news. You've seen it on the thumbnail, so there's no point making out like there's some kind of big reveal, but I have a V5. I've also had to put my hand over here because people are weird. People just rock up here. Imagine if they knew where I lived. So this is the V5 for this car. The V5 is in my name. It is a Citroen D Super5. Date of first registration, 1st of February 1975. It's a late one. It's a 2-axle rigid body and CC 2347. Okay, so they haven't done that bit. Firstly, to all the people in the comments on the previous video, thank you for massaging the algorithm. I'm not going to say I'm ungracious in victory. What it boils down to, I think DVLA were just doing due diligence, to be honest with you. I think they saw the car has the plate on it and thought, oh well, someone might have just, like, you know, stolen the logbook. The car might not exist anymore, and someone might have just got hold of the logbook and wants to, you know, sell the plate or something like that, which I will do. I will actually sell that plate because I'd rather have it back on the original. Yeah, I think it's just that. So on one hand, DVLA, thumbs up, it was good. We eventually got through. I mean, when the first video went out, the forms had already been sent off, and then nothing much happened, actually. They were a bit slow, and then the previous owner got notification from DVLA saying, oh, is this true? Are you trying to sell this car? Or are you trying to re-register this car to someone else? And of course, he'd had one of those before, and he'd gone, PTSD. But he said, oh, actually, no, in this case, yes. Yes, I am trying to sell that car to someone else. So he went online and he did it there and then online. Once that had gone through, that was more like a normal sort of change of, or transfer of registered keeper. Once that had gone through, DVLA then got back in touch and said, we need to inspect the car. The inspection people rang me, the main people from the DVLA head office, to arrange the inspection. And they basically called up and said, yeah, we need to come and see it. And I said, well, you can do that, but the engine is not in the car. It's in front of it, because of course the engine I'm putting in this car isn't that one, because that's a paperweight. Yeah, the engine that's going in it is actually one out of Clement, which was my old D Super5 I used to have. If you're an OG of the channel, you will remember Clement. That engine was originally sat on a pallet in front of the car, and I said to them, well, the engine's not in the car, but it's in front of the car. Oh, that's no good. They said, oh, you can't do that. Right, okay. That presents me with a problem. But they passed me on to the local office, because the local inspection company, the ones who are actually going to come out and see it, rung up to book in, and they said, no, that's all right, it's not a problem. If it's the engine that's going in it and it's in front of it, and basically the guy will come down and size me up. If I'm being dodgy, he'll be able to tell. So yeah, I had the engine in front of the car with its ID on it. The ID on the car was visible. We took pictures of the car. I think really he was just coming down to make sure that the car looked like it isn't going to get scrapped. It is going back on the road, and it does look good. I think it looks nice, apart from that rust bubble. So he came down, he saw it, he was happy. And eventually I had a V5 come through the post. So yeah, that was good. It's now mine. What's not good so much is that with the original application that I sent DVLA, and some people in the comments did mention this and they were right, with the original application with DVLA, I sent them a lovely personalised letter. Put a lot of care and thought into it, explaining in one hit what I'm doing. As in, I'm changing the CC of the car, because it had already been changed. This car is supposed to have a 2.2 litre engine, 2,175 cc, and someone had put in the 2347 cc engine, which is from a DS23. So at some point, that's what that one is. So at some point in the past that had happened. I'm now putting back in the original size 2175, because that's what Clement had in. Clement had an engine, and I've kept the engine. You have to watch the other videos for this to make sense. So having done that, I said, well, the engine number that is on your system is incorrect, and the CC is incorrect. It's going to be 2175. once more, because that's what it was originally. And the engine number that's going into it is this. And I listed it. And it said, while you're there, gave him Clement's registration number and said, you can consider that car scrapped, because well, the last time it was seen, it was up to the roof in water. So Clement is going off to be a bang racer eventually. So yeah, until I thought, well, we could just do it all in one hit. No. So having got that V5, I've now got to send it back off again and say to them, now can you sort out the CC and the engine number, because they're going to be wrong. Or I could just be dodgy and take that engine number off and put it on that engine. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do it legit. Damn it, I'm going to win. I'm going to do what I want to do. So yeah, I'll do that, but I'm not going to do that until the car is back together and the engine's in it and it's working. When it's working and running and moving about under its own steam, then I'll do it. Because if they want to come and inspect it again, which they might, because I'm changing the CC and the engine number, I'll be like, right, here you go, it is here, and it is running. Look, it works, assuming it does. So that's where we're at. This car is now mine. It's legit. In terms of progress on the car, where are we at? Well, it's probably easier if I show you the engine. Now, nothing has been done with the car itself, but we have an engine. Well, we've got a pallet. Right, so what we've got here is a bit of a mismatch of, well, bits. So we have the engine from Clement. That's what this is. It's effectively untouched at the moment, as it was when it came out. The gearbox that's on here now is the gearbox that came with this car. It's the gearbox that came with the car, because as you remember, the input shaft fell out of Clement's gearbox and Clement had lost drive. So I didn't want to muck about with that. This one, we believe, was running okay. I've given it a clean. The clutch I fitted, I think it's all off this car. The car came with a load of like release bearings, a flywheel, which I actually cleaned up. It was okay because the clutch was still bolted to it. So the flywheel was okay. I cleaned all that up. The clutch that's on it, lots of meat. You've seen that in the previous video. The release bearing, I used the one that came in the, well, I had one come with the car that was actually in quite good condition, so I've used that. I haven't spent any money. The only money I've spent is there's an O-ring, or a seal rather, an oil seal that goes in the back of the engine block on the end of the camshaft. This is the end of the camshaft here. I know, it's a weird, because that's the front of the car. The front of the car is here and the back of it's that way. It's a really weird layout. So the end of the camshaft's here. There's a seal that goes on the end of the block. I've replaced that. I've also replaced the, I really can't remember the other thing I did, which probably means I've forgotten to do it. One of the other jobs I've done, a message came through from my man Roland over in America, and he basically sent a link to an article about cleaning out the fifth gear oil cup, basically the lubrication system on fifth gear on the SM. Well, this is similar to an SM gearbox. Cars with a 5-speed box have fifth gear in here on this sort of extended piece on the end, which looks completely different from all the rest of it. I pulled this cover off. I've even filmed some of it. Bit of rough footage to stick in the DS diary. No, not a DS. So I'm doing the fifth gear oiling cup cleaning out overhaul thing that Roland, the friendly SM man from America, sent me in an email, which was useful. So, because I wasn't aware of it. So basically I've taken the cover off the gearbox. I cleaned the gearbox off yesterday. I know it doesn't look it, but that's clean. That's the one that's going in it. I've taken the cover off the top so we can see fifth gear. And then this is the cover. And basically oil is fed, I reckon it probably comes down. Does it come from that? Can't figure out, see how that comes, how that gets into the case here. But basically it gets into this case and it runs along this channel and drips down here. You can see the trail. So I'm going to clean all this out. And it drips onto this oiling cup, which is this, which I've removed the bolt from fifth gear. And if you look in the back of it, there's a groove with 2 holes. Now mine isn't too bad. You can just about see daylight through that one and that one. But not a huge amount, so it would have been oiling it, but it basically starves fifth gear of oil. And so if you hear a DS going down the road in fifth gear, whining its tits off, it's probably because that is full of sludge. I'm not going to go and clean it properly in a minute, but just so you can see how much of this is crap. Nice. Oh, lovely. So yeah, I'll go and clean that off. Okay, so that was well worth doing. I hadn't actually noticed when I took it apart before, but so you can see the back of it's lovely and clean. Now the inside of it, put the light on. Can you see all the brown staining? Well, that in there was perfectly smooth, compressed, metallic grease oil crud, basically. And I'd gone in there, I'd had the wire brush in there, I'd had a bit of Scotch pad in there, I'd left it soaking in the degreaser. But when I poked through these little holes, the little oiler holes, which are now, if you can be able to see through them, there you go. When I poked through those, there was resistance. And it was only then that I realised that the inside of this was absolutely packed with this really dense, sort of smooth, compressed stuff. And it gave the appearance that it was the actual, you know, surface of the cup. But it wasn't. So I got my little sort of pick in there. I got this little, just a little pick. And I started pulling chunks out. And there was so much in there. But now there isn't. So I'm well pleased that I did that. You can see the holes in there. There's the hole there. So that will go on there. And then I put the bolt back in, which is here. And I'll do it up to talk to spec. I don't know what that is, but it'll be a windy gun. So, and then yeah, that will go back together. And then I will put some new sealant on that. Clean this face up so it seals. And then, well, hopefully, that's that problem taken care of. And so that's what I did with that. I'm glad I did as well, because the crud that was in that oil cup was quite significant. Also, the speedo cable, that's come off Clement, the lower speedo cable's off Clement, but the bottom of it was a little broken, so I've had to make a kind of support for it. What else have we got? Right, so the brakes. We've got the gearbox, as I say, is that one. The brakes themselves, this is where it turns into a mismatch. Basically, we have the brake discs from Clement, because there's no lip on them at all. Once I clean them up, there's no lip on them. The ones that came on that car, there was quite a significant lip. But the pads that were in with Clement, well, I'll show you the pads. I'll go and get one of the pads. I mean, even the pads on DS's are massively engineered. It's like an alloy casing. But there's not a lot of meat on them. I mean, there is a bit. There's a couple of mil. But considering it had new discs, I'm pretty sure those were new discs fairly recently. Why you wouldn't put new pads in it, I don't know. So the pads that are in with this car's original brakes, which are in this box here, and they're better as well because they've got the nice like finned heat dissipation thing, and they've got tons of meat on them. So I'm going to use those. Those calipers are massive, but they're actually quite light. So those pads are going in it. The calipers themselves, these are Clement's, because I know the brakes worked. They worked, they didn't leak. I pushed these pistons back in. You've got twin pot, basically two big pistons, one either side. I pushed them back in, they're moving lovely and free, very smooth. The fluid that came out was all green, no brown muck in there or anything. So I'm going to reuse those calipers from Clement with Clement's discs, but with those pads. Well, once I've inspected them, I'll make sure they're okay. But I think they were they looked like they were new when the car got taken off the road, so they're just a bit grubby. Other than that, speedo cable, I've changed the gear selection housing, that's off Clement. The clutch actuation arm thing, which is a known weak point on right-hand drive DS's. I've used the one from Clement on that because that one had been modified. It had been strengthened. The other one is, I don't know where it's gone, but the other one wasn't. And well, the other one had snapped and been repaired, but not brilliantly. The one that was off this car. So that's Clement's one. But being Clement, it wasn't done properly because there's 2 holes and someone had basically welded over the second hole. So, and then there was in Clement's gearbox, which is down there, there's a little stump of bolt that it was just located over. So yeah, so I've drilled that out and bolted that on with 2 bolts. Yeah, basically, as far as this goes, there's not a huge amount left. I've got this engine mount here, or gearbox cradle thing, which will go like that. I've got to do I've put the old starter motor, the one that came with the car, I put the big starter motor on it. The wiring to it I need to change because that's Clement's old wiring and it is garbage. I've got some pipe work to do on the calipers first. The pipe that goes over the top, I need to make one of them because that one is cut. There's a pipe down there to the pressure regulator, that's been cut. I need to sort that out, that must have been me. Other than that, on the engine, there's not a huge amount. Everything's bolted up. It's got all its bell housing bolts in now, which will make a difference. Oh, the handbrake calipers need to go back on. I've got some there and some in there. I'll go through them. In fact, these ones look better. Oh yeah, no, they've got tons more meat on them. Set of handbrake calipers there. So basically, yeah, as far as that goes, it's nearly done. As far as the engine goes, there's not a huge amount I'm going to do to it. We're going to clean it up, go through all the various hoses and things. Yeah, because it did run okay when it was in the car. In fact, the only thing about Clement that was okay was the engine. Actually, no, it rode okay. The suspension was all right. One of the things I am going to look at doing, though, is I'm going to take the timing cover off the end of the block, just to have a look and see, because, I mean, apparently this engine was rebuilt, but looking at the standard of work on the rest of Clement, I'm not sure that's a good thing. So I'm going to take that cover off and just have a look and see what the chain's like, see if the tensioner is sort of all the way, I think they're spring-loaded tensioners in these, and see if it's all the way out, because it could indicate a stretched chain, and it might as well be done while the car, well, while the engine's out like this. And then also there's this cap on the end of the block. I don't even know what that's for. I mean, it's a blanking cap of some sort. It must have been something on another model that went there or something like that, but that's just a bit rusty. I mean, it's quite thick, but I don't know what it's like on the other side. So I'm thinking of taking that off, because I mean, it could be heavily corroded on the inside. Other than that, as I say, I'll give it a clean up, and I'll probably just be putting it in like this. I don't think there's anything else that has to be done right now. The access to the engine isn't too bad when it's in the car. One of the things I have done, though, these are pretty. Look at this. I've got to figure out how this all goes round. Look what I did. So basically, I've got the original exhaust headers, which were pretty manky, and I've shot blasted them and painted them. I've also repaired this, which is Clement's original downpipe. It was pretty bad at the bottom here. Well, it's got some pretty bad repairs on it already, but this bit here was just rust. So I've ground all that back, and then that's now a piece of stainless Citroen Saxo Magnex exhaust that I couldn't sell. So I've chopped it up, and now it's got a bit of stainless in there. So that goes on the bottom of those downpipes and connects to the rest of the exhaust, which is still fitted to that car. So once I've got some gaskets for this, I mean, the gaskets are these. They look really similar to Ford Cologne V6 gaskets, so I'm going to go and check that first. But once I've got some gasket, well, they don't fit that. Oh no, because that's the big one, isn't it? Yeah, once I've got some gaskets and some new bolts and things, because I need studs and nuts and whatnot for the engine, I've got an exhaust. Still got a bit of rust in there. Hey, there we go. Yeah, once I've got all that sorted, that can be bolted on as well. I need to sort the threads out for the heat shield that goes on there and there, and one of the bolts is snapped off, and I forgot and painted them before I did that. But it's heat paint, so in theory, I can grind a little bit off and weld it, and the rest of it will be fine. Oh, the alternator is the only other thing that's unthought of at the moment, because The one that came on Clement was this little thing, but what on earth? It's got like 2 threads holding that on. Obviously not designed to have a double pulley, is it? So I'm thinking I don't like that. So I'm probably going to go with the alternator that came with this, which I can... No, I can't see it. It came with the car, but of course I don't know whether it works. So yeah, once I've done that and I've got the hydraulic pump back on, it'll just be a case of getting the car out, cleaning the engine bay out, sorting out any issues in the engine bay compartment that need to be done while the engine's out, and then this can go in. Right, well I'll see you when that happens.